Legend tells that there is an assassin, so powerful that not only specializes in kidnapping, but is also sent to scare away the boogeyman. This kid is stupid enough to kill his puppy as a result. He was hunted by him and got all of his relatives killed. This man named John Wick is a notorious assassin who terrorizes the underworld. John, which has come clean. After the death of his wife, all he has is a house, a Mustang and his little puppy, Daisy. The day he drove Daisy to the gas station, this kid had an eye on his vintage car. He asked if he can buy it, but John didn't give much attention to him without saying much to the retard. He drove straight home at night. Little Daisy hears strange noises. Daisy went down to check it out and was beaten. It's the douchebags at the gas station. When they came over, they not only took the Mustang but also killed little Daisy. Just as the devil is trying to enjoy his retirement, these idiots decided to mug him. How smart of them. He took the Mustang for a refurbishment. The owner of the garage looked like he almost shit his pants when he saw the car. After learning that this kid killed the owner's dog, without hesitation, he punched the retarded kid, but no one knows why. It seems like the garage guy is the only one who knows that the kid is pretty much fucked. John didn't take long to find his car. The garage boss tells about what happened and tells John that his name is Joseph, Vigo little brat's son. Without saying much, John borrowed a car and then left. He went home with a hammer to dig up his weapon after smashing the floor. John opened his hot cargo full of dangerous toy. At the same time, Vigo, when he heard that his son was beaten, immediately called the garage owner to question. Why did you hit my son? The retard stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Sir, Vigo is a person who has been rolling around in the underworld for decades. And after listening to it, his feet immediately felt cold. Then he calls his son to beat the shit out of him, punching him right in the gut. The kid raised his neck to argue, but Vigo punched him again so that he could wise up. He then talked about the legend of John Wick with only a pencil and 3 corpses in a bar. Vigo once hired John on a mission that no one else could do. But to everyone's surprise, John survived. And now you're stealing his car and killing his dog. Do you want to die before me, you idiot? After all, it was his son. So Vigo couldn't stand to watch him die. He took the initiative to call John, hoping to make a compromise on both sides, but John didn't give a shit and hung up immediately. What a giga chat. Knowing that negotiation has failed, Vigo could only act first. 12 men are sent to break into John's house. This place is no longer a home, but a cemetery for the intruder. Once entering, there is no leaving. The hunter becomes the prey. 12 guys that Vigo sent and already half are annihilated. The other half also had the same fate of being shot down by John. One last guy remains. John knocked him down quickly, stabbing the knife in the heart. At this moment, the doorbell suddenly rang and the lights flashed. It is a police car. John calmly opened the door. The policeman greeted him warmly and looked in to see a body lying on the floor. If you were working again, John? No. Just some uninvited guests. Well, it's late now, I'll leave you to it then. John calls the cleaning service to pick up the bodies. They came to clean up the piles of garbage lying around in John's house. 12 well-wrapped garbage bags then get dragged into the car. Vigo here also knows the results. He was not surprised it is John. After this, Vigo offers a $2 million contract on John's head to any assassin out there. He personally goes to see another top assassin, who is also John's friend, and Vigo wants to hire him to kill John, but Marcus just smiled and nodded. After seeing Michael close the deal, Vigo happily left. Marcus hasn't worked his muscles in a while now and started taking out his hot goods. At this time, John arrived at a hotel. It is very safe here because it has a law that prohibits murder in this hotel. John goes to the hotel's underground bar to find Winston. This man is a very powerful dude. There is no one in the underworld that Winston doesn't know. They talked for a bit, then got to the main topic. Winston then provides Joseph's whereabouts. John returned to the dressing room fully equipped from head to toe, bulletproof vests, guns, daggers, and all. The once famous assassin began to act. Arriving at the bar where Joseph is hiding, John sneaks in the door. After the security guard is caught off guard, then a barrel of a gun was pointed at his head. It turned out that the two knew each other. So John didn't want to kill him, saying that I'm here for work. Why don't you go chill for a day? The security man is very smart. He just thanked John and left. While this guy was washing his face, his friend got one shot and then died. Hearing some noise, he turned around only to get immediately punched by John. If he resisted a little, he would have to reveal the whereabouts of Joseph, since this guy was also there eating Josephine, killing his dog. John drowned his face till he died inside. Joseph was still enjoying himself. The guards outside were dealt with in silence, one after another. A guard soon discovered John and to dive into solo duel, but he is only a low-level NPC, so he can only hold back John for a bit. You'll have looked at John with a pale face, taking advantage of John's business with his subordinates. Joseph ran with his ass. John chased to the dance floor. Death is walking coldly while Joseph just ran like a coward. John, don't waste any bullets. Clearing the room full of ego boys, John then goes to another room. Whoever blocking his way is going to meet the boogeyman. Most of the guards had fallen before John's wrath. At this time, Joseph had run into the street. His accomplices had arrived to save his ass. John unfortunately got shot but was saved by his bulletproof vest. During a hand-to-hand fight with the chief bodyguard, John broke his ribs. Then the guy threw him downstairs. The main target have escaped and it was useless to stay. So John quickly left the bar and returned to the hotel to treat his wounds, preparing to rest. Michael was putting him in his sights, ready to shoot, but suddenly discovered that someone broke into the room. Marcus immediately shot John's pillow and John immediately alerted. It turns out that Perkins also wanted to kill John for the bounty, knowing that it meant breaking the hotel's rules. Even when John was injured, she was no match. After the duel, Perkins quickly filled her mouth with blood. By John. John asks Perkins, "Where Joseph in?" Vigo R. Perkins then spills the location of a church and John decided not to kill Perkins. John entered the church in a suit and leather shoes. Like a badass, the priest smiled and walked over. "What can I do for you?" "Lead the way, Father." John drags the priest to the cellar, beating 2 guards. Then he forced a priest to enter the code to open the door and the true accounting girls ran away. He poured all the money on the floor, then lit a cigarette, burning it all. Vigo, after hearing the news, rushed to the church. John has been waiting here for a long time. Then John goes full gun blazing on Vigo. After reloading, John continued gunning Vigo boys down in front of him. A car then crashed into John's side, knocking him out. When he woke up, John found himself tied up in a warehouse. When Vigo asked if John has fully returned, he did not provide a real answer, but because of his dog's death now, John willingly lets these hands get bloody again. Vigo thinks that John is a dying man, so he doesn't care, even though they used to be partners when he thought he was going to die. Suddenly there was the sound of glass breaking and the guard fell. It is John's old friend Marcus. John took the opportunity to fight back after a while of hand-to-hand combat. John also knocks him out, determined to take his revenge. John blocked the front of Vigo's car and fired consecutively, forcing him to stop. Vigo was forced to get out of the car. "If you don't spill where your son is, I'll put a hole in your head." Vigo has no choice but to reveal where his son was, in a warehouse. Joseph is being closely guarded. The guard reported the situation continuously and thought it was reassuring. But when Joseph's friend was shot in the head, they know they are fucked. John pressed the switch and the car in the warehouse was blown to pieces. All the bodyguards got wiped out. And guess who is next? Oh, Joseph, it is your son. He had never been so scared. Not long after he ran, he was shot by John. After revenge, John prepares to leave the hotel. As compensation for Perkins' trouble, the hotel owner sent him a new car. Vigo, with the pain of losing his child, could not swallow this anger. He thought that Marcus had betrayed him, so he beat up Marcus and called John to inform him. After hearing that Marcus was beaten up, John hastily turned the car over to Marcus's house, but by the time he got there, it was too late and Marcus's body is already cold. Their feud is yet to end. Now, Perkins is arriving at a location. The hotel's people came out from 4 sides surrounding her, since she has broken the hotel's rules. So the price she has to pay is to receive 4 bullets. Then Winston called John. He announced that Vigo was preparing to board a helicopter to escape. Stepping into full gear, John quickly caught up with Vigo and then rammed a car, causing it to fall off. Vigo's car was thrown against a post. His car was forced to stop. John did not get out of the car but ran backwards, directly knocking one guy on the roof and adding another on the side of the road. John loaded his gun and starts printed before taking another guy down. Vigo's close henchman smirked. Then John led him to the grave. Suddenly, John's side was hit. Vigo in the car had a chance. He tries shoveling John's into the water at a critical moment. John promptly jumped out in the heavy rain to use their most primitive weapon. Then stabbed him back. After that, Vigo is finally reunited with his retarded son. John went to a nearby veterinary hospital to get disinfectant. At this moment, he saw a cute pit bull that reminded him of Daisy. Then we see them leisurely walking down the street. Well, I hope you liked it, and if you do, please like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Till another video, take care.